Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead. Time for Thankful Thursday. So I'd been scrolling through Facebook and I came across this thing that said 7 promises of God. So then I typed it in on the computer and it came up with 7 completely different verses. So we're going to do the one that I found off the computer because I think that'll be pretty good. I mean, there was maybe a couple that were matching, but it's still the same idea. So let's start out in prayer and then get to it. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for everyone that's here today. Thank you for all the people that are following you and listening to you and learning about you. I have a feeling that a lot more are going to come to you. We know that in good and bad that you are there for us and that you'll pick us up when we need to. It's something all that boils down in faith and that we believe that you can fix everything. I know that a lot of people, like we mention every week, are going through so many things. And so many people need your help. And I'm asking you that you please pick those people up and help them. And let them know that it's you that did it. And actually, some of us can be helped by the hands of other people, which is a good thing. I think that you direct us in the areas in which we need to help other people, or help ourselves, or our neighbor, whatever it happens to be. I ask all of this in Jesus' name. We pray. Amen. All right. So it says, the 7 promises of God include, He will be with you, protect you by strength, answer you, provide for you, and give you peace, and always love you. These promises offer reassurance and support in both good and challenging times. So it says, God promises to provide all these comfort and assurance to believers. Here are 7 key promises often highlighted in Christian teachings. Genesis 28:15. The promises that He'll be with us. God assures His presence in all circumstances, providing comfort and companionship. And I know some people don't think about that, but maybe I'm just crazy, but I think sometimes in the silence, it's not like you hear actual words, but you sense that feeling. Do you know what I mean? That He's talking to you. He's telling you what you should and shouldn't do. Like, I think about it, last Friday morning we were supposed to go down to Birch Run and go look at those other vehicles, and I woke up at 2:30 and my stomach was hurting, and I couldn't just function. And finally, okay, I'm listening, I hear you. And I texted the dealership and I said we wouldn't be down there. And then we walked into a car that, it had more miles than we wanted, and, it's got a few scratches or whatever, but it was something more affordable. So I think that we can feel His presence sometimes, like, I know the night my mom died, I could almost feel Him there because He knew I needed to get that long drive back home, and yeah, I think that He was there with me. And I think if we take the time, we can feel or we can hear Him. Deuteronomy 31:6, His sign that He will protect you. God promises to safeguard His followers from harm and guide them through the challenges. And that honestly couldn't be more true. Once again, if we stay silent and we keep faith, I think that, I'm not saying God's in our stomach, He's in our heart, He's everywhere, but, we can tell His guidance through our gut, if that makes any sense, because sometimes I think we feel it in our gut whether it's right or wrong, or we should be doing it or should not be doing it, whatever. And so I think that is His way of protecting us. Like, I truthfully believe last Friday that if we'd have driven the truck all the way down there, I don't think we would have made it back. I mean, it went from being the best truck to, oh gosh, you know? And I really think that he was protecting us so that we could still get, a good trade in and whatever. I know we think about only things that God can protect us just from, you know, saving us from ourselves, whatever it might be. But I think that God is there for us, even in the silly things, if that makes sense, like a car or whatever it happens to be. I think He's always there, and He tries to guide us. It's not like He stands right here and walks through the door and goes, "Hey, Chris, make sure you do this, this, or this, and things will be okay." Even with building my channel, I'm sure He could come down here and tell me what it takes to do it, but then He'd be doing it, not me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Philippians 4:13. I will be your strength. In times of weakness, God offers strength and support to help overcome life's difficulties. That's a fact. These are some pretty good promises, actually. Do you ever notice when you're down to what you feel is your lowest? Like something happens and it gives you like that warm feeling that you're not alone. I can remember so many times, when I was a single mom, I'd go to bed at night and I'm like, I just don't know how I'm going to do this. I just don't know how I'm going to do this. And it was almost like I could feel Him pushing me and saying to me, you got this. You got this. I'm not going to let you fall. You got this. Because, man, in the beginning after my divorce, you guys, things were rough. We went through 2 evictions. It was rough. And, did we have everything that we wanted? No, but we had everything we needed. And, we got guided to an apartment I could afford. And, just, He offered me strength. He offered me support. He offered me like a breath to know that no matter what was thrown at me, we'd make it. I know, weird, right? John 14:13-14. And it says, I will answer you. God commits to responding to prayers through answers may vary in timing and form. And as we all know, God does everything in His time, not ours. It doesn't mean that your prayers are not going to be answered. It doesn't mean that whatever you need to come true doesn't come true. It just means that it's in His time, not ours. And, you think about it like, God created the earth in 7 days. 6 really, because He took the 7th day to rest. But do we truthfully know how many hours are in His day? So when we think about, well, I would like this solved by Friday. Well, what Friday? You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but here we are rocking it. Matthew 6:31-33. I will provide for you. God promises to meet the needs of His followers, both spiritually and materially. And we've been kind of talking about that. Like Tom always says, like, if we get another bill and it's like, and he goes, it's just money. And truthfully, he's right. It's just money. If you fall behind, you can catch up or you don't catch up. Spiritually, you can be beaten down and just like, oh, God, I can't do this. But if you ever notice, like I told you about the hard times when I first left home, and I never starved. I did live in my car for a little bit, but I don't have anything fancy now. I mean, I have a 900 square foot house. We have two vehicles. They're 2019s. You know, I mean, we don't have anything fancy. But honestly, I am one of the richest women in the world. And I don't mean materially either. I mean in the important things. Do I have days that, I question my faith? Yeah. Or my Christianity? Yeah. But what makes me rich isn't what's in my bank account. I have God. He is my Father. I think about what He's sacrificed for me. And I'm His child. And He loves me. That makes me so rich beyond words. And then the other things that I'm rich in that money just absolutely cannot buy. I have an amazing husband that is so supportive of me. He's not romantic or, anything like that. He isn't the one that goes, geez, you're so pretty today, and, let me get that for you. And, he's a man's man. I have 3 incredible sons. They each have their own personality. I'm looking at the family picture right now. They have their own personalities. They have who they are and what they are. And I have 2 incredibly beautiful grandsons. You guys have met them all, and they're amazing little buggers. I have an awesome daughter-in-law. I have an awesome future daughter-in-law. I have a roof over my head. I have a vehicle I can drive. Tom and I both have jobs. We're not rich in that sense, you know what I mean? But I am one of the richest women in the world. Without a dollar to my name. It doesn't matter. So I think that, both spiritually and materialistically, He takes care of those things. We just have to have faith and believe. And what one idea of person's materialistic ideas and the other person could be 2 different things. I'm happy with my 900 square foot home. Someone might be happy with a 200 square foot home. Or, their happiness only lies in a 5,000 square foot house. Whatever. I mean, God provides, and He takes care of those things. You guys learn more about me every time I do these. You know that. All right. John 14:27. God offers a peace that transcends understanding, calming hearts in troubled times. Wow. That's pretty powerful if you think about that. Like right now, there's so much going on. It's just not just the financial. There's so much, just, you can feel it under your skin, if that makes sense. Like you can, I don't know. You can tell sometimes things are brewing and you're not sure, like, how are you going to stop it? Can you stop it? Do you want to stop it? And I think, like that song, Fear is a Liar. I heard that song for the first time during COVID. And, when it first happened, you guys remember, like, you didn't want to leave your house. You didn't want to, they told you to do this, told you to do that. All this other crap. And, I heard that song. And I listened to it. I listened to it several times, actually. And I finally came to the conclusion that There's 4 options. I'll get it. I won't. I'll live. I'll die. Because at some point, you have to, calm down. And like how when Tom says, it's just money. He doesn't pay the bills. I mean, his money pays the bills, but, he doesn't pay him. He doesn't know what's due, nothing else. So for him, he can stay calm about it. And I think when he says that, he's trying to put a calming in me, if that makes sense. But if you, like, I have one over there and I have one over here that says, let go, let God. And we've talked about that before, that it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, because I can be a controlling person. I think we all can be to some degree. And, the idea of like, here you go. It's very intimidating. It's very scary. And, you wonder, like, sorry, especially when you're not face to face talking to him. You're like, how do I put that much faith and that much, in him? But honestly, I think it gives us a calm, that we're not in a fight alone. We have help, we have guidance, we have understanding. And he calms us. So that's a very good one too. 1 John 4, 9 through 10. And it says, I will always love you. God's love is unconditional and everlasting, providing a foundation for faith and hope. And if you think about all the times that we screw up every day, even the best of Christians, I think everybody screws up every day. Well, sorry about that, guys. You're not boring me, I promise. I just haven't slept really good the last few nights. But anyway, it's like you love your kids. And you think about it, you're God's child. And if you're a true to God, good parent, you love your kids no matter what they do. You may not like what they do. You might be disappointed in what they do. But a true parent would never walk away. They would never, that's it. You stepped off here. Even the ones that do tough love and stuff like that, those parents are always there in the wings. Believe me, they're not going to, if that kid falls and finally hits bottom, they're going to be there to scrape them up and get them back so that they're back on the right track. So even those, tough love parents, I could never do that. But the ones that do, you have to imagine how strong their love is for their kids to be able to do that. And I used to think about it and like, how could you turn your back on your kid? But there's parents that actually keep helping and helping and helping, and actually it's hurting the kid. So now that I'm older, I understand that. I didn't understand it back then. But unconditional love, I mean, that is something so hard to come up with. And to know that he loves you unconditionally, no matter what you do, how you screw up, what you did, didn't do, whatever. He forgives us. He understands. He loves us through it. Because isn't that what we do with our kids? No matter what, we love them through it. And I think God does the same. I didn't realize this is the kids' blanket. It's Scooby-Doo. I keep it there because if they come real early in the morning and they want to lay here and watch TV, then I cover them both up with a Scooby-Doo blanket. So they're both big Scooby-Doo fans. I'm like, what am I seeing? And I realized what it was. So the importance of trusting God's promises. Believers are encouraged to trust in these promises, especially during difficult times. Embracing these assurances can lead to the deeper faith and more profound sense of peace. Hair keeps getting around me, sorry. But that's true. Those are 7 really good promises if you think about it. I'm glad that I seen that, because I was having a hard time on what I wanted to talk about this week. It isn't always the easiest, and I don't want people thinking that I'm saying things just about them or whatever. It's just whatever comes to, and sometimes it's real, or, you know, it's something else. I do want you guys to pray for someone. That Pilgrim Devotions that I told you about, and I've been watching him. He's been diagnosed with cancer, and they don't think it's something that he'll survive. But if you guys could please pray for him. He's a really good man, and I hope that he doesn't have to suffer a lot. So, yeah, if you could give a prayer to him. If you guys have any prayers, make sure you put it below. And, you know, we will pray for you. If you have times where, you know, your faith and your belief are shaken a little bit, whether it's something that's happened or you've just strayed a little bit, know that God will always take you back, and He never stops loving you. His promises are true. And even if we can't see it at the moment, we will down the road. And I think it's before, before we die or anything else, we'll see the reasons why things were the way they were, or whatever it happens to be. That totally didn't make any sense. But anyway, sometimes I really do. I know I say that all the time, but I feel like I'm just rambling on, and, you know, like in my heart, I kind of, after I read the verses, I can kind of have some idea of what I want to say or whatever, but like I said, I don't read them prior to, because I want it to be raw to me too. But when I seen those 7 promises, isn't it a blessing to know that someone you've never met, someone that loves you so deeply, can keep all those promises to you? And yet, we have a hard time keeping them to Him. I think about all the things that He's sacrificed for me. And sometimes I think to myself, gosh, how can you do that, Chris, or do this or do that or whatever? You know, look at what He did for you. Sometimes we need to just stop and think about that. Anyways, it's getting too deep in here. But I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'll be 59. Tom has the weekend off, so I'm not sure if we're going to go do anything, if we're just going to hang around the house, or what we're doing. We haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. He never finds out till towards the end of the week if he has to work the weekend or not. So, Courtney actually might have the weekend off too. So that would be great. She'd have time with the kids. And next week is AJ's birthday. Ugh. So hard to believe he's going to be 7. He's grown up, you guys. He's in 1st grade. And yeah, he's like, Grandma, you still got my toy for me? I'm like, yes, I do. He has been waiting. He picked it out, gosh, probably 6 months ago. It's a Titanic. And you put it together, and it's got lights and everything inside. And he has been waiting patiently for that. So he's like, I go, what's Friday, AJ? And he goes, Titanic? And I said, no. He goes, oh, yeah, your birthday. And I go, what's the following week? And he goes, Titanic. So thanks for coming along with me. Thanks for, all of your support and your love. And know that you're loved more than you'll ever know. And I truthfully love each and every one of you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I can't believe there's some of you that's been with me since the get-go. And wow, I appreciate that. Know that I love you guys. You guys have a blessed day. Be a blessing. And I will see you at supper.